Okay, so here we are remodeling our guest bathroom here. And whenever you remodel a bathroom, it's always a good idea to upgrade to the latest electrical codes whenever you can. Now here's a typical electrical scenario you see here. An old switch and an old outlet that you want to replace. But you always want to replace it with a ground fault circuit interrupter. And you're probably wondering, what is that and why do I need it? Well, it is required by the National Electric Code, and anywhere you're within 6 feet of the edge of a sink. So we're going to install one here today, and we'll show you exactly how to do it.
You want this alright? Want this alright? Too good to be true. You want this alright? Want this alright?
Hey everybody, Jeff here. And if this is your first time to our channel, welcome. We put out weekly videos for you on everything having to do with remodeling your house. And today we're covering this GFI outlet here. So this is what a ground fault circuit interrupter outlet is. Sounds like a lot of words blended together, doesn't it? Well, what it really means is it's a special type of outlet that senses minute differences in current. If it senses current going from one conductor to the other, bam, it'll just instantly open up right then and there, and then you can reset it when it's done. So this is designed to protect you from shock. This would be a perfect time, if you haven't already, to hit that subscribe button down below. And once you hit that subscribe button, you'll see that little gray bell. Click on that, and that will alert you to every time we put a new video so that you'll never miss a video. And this particular one is also tamper-proof, so I know the inspectors like to see tamper-proof, and they want to see ground fault in the bathroom. Now currently, the National Electric Code does not require in the bathroom to have an arc fault circuit protector here as well. But in the kitchen we do. So if we were going to be doing this in the kitchen, we would need a different type. This is it right here. So this is the one you would use in the kitchen. If you get a close-up look, you can see right here, it says right there, AFCI, GFCI. So not only is this a ground fault circuit interrupter, this is also an arc fault circuit interrupter. So this one would be required in the kitchen. It is not required in the bathroom. But you know, the way these guys keep meddling with the codes, with the National Electric Code, it'll probably happen one day soon. But for now, we're just going to be using the regular ground fault circuit interrupter here in the bathroom. And we're also going to be hooking up this rocker panel switch. Now I can tell you right now, we're already going to run into a problem, because when you look at this outlet here, you can't see it now, but we'll show you when we take it apart, that in the back there, they've never bonded the metal box to ground. And the National Electric Code requires that if you have a metal outlet box, it has to be bonded to the ground, and we're going to have to do that here, and we'll show you how to do that. So this is going to be a great learning experience for you, because this is the most common electrical failure we see that electricians do when they install wiring, is they fail to bond the metal box to ground. Now if this was just a plastic remodel box, you wouldn't have to worry about it. Your work would be half done already. Okay, so I wanted to point out something that's very important to you here with this outlet before you even start wiring. You want to make sure you know and you're comfortable with what this thing is doing here. Okay? So you see this yellow tape that's on here, this big yellow sticker here? This right here, what this is doing is this is covering up the load. And when you're hooking up one of these GFCI outlets, typically they want this to be on the first outlet of the circuit. And only then, if there's any additional outlets further down, that's called the load, would you undo this sticker and connect those to this set of terminals right here. The upper terminals is called the line, and that gets the voltage from the electrical panel. So I kind of drew this drawing here to show you, because this will make it easier for you to understand what's happening. So here's your electric panel, and the electric panel supplies the voltage to this outlet box through a Romex cable that's got a black, a white, and a ground line, a bare copper line. That's called the line, because that means that's the main power, so it's called line. Anything other than that, further down the line here, is called load. So that's why it's very important to correctly identify and to correctly wire up these line wires here to the proper terminals on the back of this outlet here. So in other words, it's going to go here, and you probably can't see it. I'll have to show you at a better angle, but it says it right on here. It's engraved on the back. It says line. So that way you know for sure. So the black will go here and white will go here, okay? And so this is your outlet here. And then the bottom ones go to the load to any other outlets that might be down the line. Now in this particular case there aren't any, so I suspect that when we open up this box we're only going to see just this single pair of wires here. But if this was in a kitchen counter, for example, your first one would be the one where you put the GFCI outlet, and all the others down the line from it will get tied into the load output on the back of this, okay? I know we're spending a few minutes on it, but it's important for you to understand this key difference here and what's happening, okay? So the first thing you want to do before you change your outlets here is you got to go turn off the power at the panel. So let's go do that. Okay, it's that switch there. So I wanted to show you our setup. We have my big bright LED light set up, and it's plugged in to an extension cord in another room so that we can have power for it. And these are all my tools, and I have nice protection down on the surface of the sink. So before we get into these outlets, I always take my voltage tester here, and if we come in and get a closer look, turn it on like that, see the red light comes on, and then I just start poking it around in there and making sure that nothing is live, because if there is something live, that could be dangerous. Just because you turn off the switch at the outlet does not mean that everything in this box is dead now. There could be wires in the back of the box that are just passing through from one side to the other side of the box, and they could be live too, so you never know. You always want to double check, and this will light up too. So that's all you do. So we're fine, everything's good there. So now we can start unscrewing. Got that? Okay, so now as we pull out the switch and the outlet, I see probably 3 or 4 things wrong that the electricians did. Do you guys see what they are? Well, let me show you one of them at least. So here's your switch here, and the wires just barely make it out of the outlet. So that's like probably 2 or 3 inches. The code says your wiring should come out about 6 inches, and this is why. So you don't have problems with stuff trying to put it together too close to the wall. This one here looks fine, but another mistake they did on both of these outlets, and these guys were pretty inconsistent about this, but they backstabbed, and I don't like backstabbing on outlets. If you're going to do your own electrical, do not do this, okay? Do not be that guy that does this. This is what can cause false tripping on probably your GFIs, but usually on the arc faults it'll cause false tripping. And over time these things can just pop right back out, because the backstabbing, all it does, it's like a little pinch thing that holds it, and it doesn't hold it very good. So that's not good. Also, you can see they were inconsistent, like on the switch here. They backstabbed one, but tied it to the bolt on the other one. And then, if you can see, here's one bolt, and here's the other bolt. They left the other one that was unused, they left it up. I always like to screw them all the way down, get them flat out of the way, and then I do electrical tape around them. So, and then the fourth thing, which is the most important one, like I mentioned earlier, they didn't really bond this box to ground. So we're going to do that. We're going to get a green ground pigtail with a green ground screw on it, and we're going to screw it into this outlet box here, and that will be our bond. We'll have to find one of these copper wires that are coming in from the line. Remember that line I showed you from the fuse panel? And we'll tie it into the metal box, and then tie the green ground pigtail onto that. That way everything will be connected to the ground. I just wanted to show you one other thing here too, and this is a biggie, is that they never did ground. They never ran a ground to either of these to the switch or to the outlet here. And the GFI outlets, when you connect these up, you have to have a ground. See that green screw right there? That's what that's for. The ground wire connects to that. So you absolutely have to have a ground. And that's why we have this ground pigtail right here. And we're going to screw this into the back of the box, and it will come out then and feed these two. Okay, so here's how we did the ground here, how we bonded the box. So this copper wire, if you can see, comes in from the upper left-hand corner of the box here, and that comes from the electrical panel. And so we wrapped it around this ground screw right here. So now the box is bonded to the system ground to this wire right here. Okay, and we added on this pigtail here because we have two outlet boxes here. So this one here and this one here. One will go to the switch, one will go to the outlet. And then there's another, you'll see this other ground cable here, this little bare copper wire right there. That goes on to the light that's above the vanity. That's for the vanity light. And what we did with this one was we just connected it. There's a little slot here that's made to wedge in the ground wire. So it's connected to the box. And so we're going to verify this with my voltmeter here in just a minute here, just to make sure that we do indeed have a ground.
Go.
All right, so now I use the end of my little wiring tool here. This has a little hole in the end there, and what you do with this is you stick it in there and just wrap it back there, and you get a loop. Okay, so I start off by first putting the ground wire on, and remember, you always put the ground wire on so that it wraps clockwise around the screw. See, like that? So if we want to come in and get a nice close shot of it so you can see, then I'm going to take my needle nose here and I'm going to squeeze it to close the loop. So now we have a nice closed loop, and then I'm going to use my Phillips head driver here to tighten this down. Okay, so here you can see it's all connected up, and it's okay if a little copper sticks out because this doesn't carry any voltage. Unlike what the electricians did originally on this outlet here, if you come up here we can see right here there's a little bit of wire sticking out of the back where he backstabbed it, and that's not acceptable. That should have been, the insulation should have been all the way up against the back there. So let's go ahead and connect up the GFCI outlet to its ground using the same theory of operation. And here you can see we've got it all screwed on there, the ground wire onto the GFCI outlet. Now we're going to take the black wire for it. And the way to remember this with outlets is the black wire is the darker one, so it goes to the darker terminal, the bronze color terminal. The white wire is going to go to the silver, the lighter color terminal here. See. Now this is an interesting type of outlet here, because what's neat about this is I can either wrap it around the screw. See the wire here? I can wrap it around the screw, or I can stick it under this little pinching bracket. This thing has a nice little clamping bracket here. What I like about this is this allows you to stick two wires in here if you had to feed off to something else too. So that's pretty good. I'm just going to snip a frog here off of the end of this guy, just so he doesn't stick out too much. So now when we stick it back underneath there, he comes just where he's supposed to be. Okay. So I'm going to use my screwdriver here to tighten him down. There he is. I just wanted to point out to you that, see this screw here? It's a combination of a flathead and a Phillips. So you can use a Phillips screwdriver on it, or you can use a flathead on it. Or you can use this type, which is a combo. I don't know if you can see it, but the head there, you can see it's like a, almost looks like a plus shape. So that's a combo, and that grips it a lot better. So this is my preferred screwdriver to use on these types here. And then we're also going to take the white one and stick it on there as well. And I'll show you how we do the white one as a clockwise wrap. Okay, so there's the white one all tightened in, ready to go. Alright, so let's take a look at what we've got here. If we come in and take a closer look and above here. So here is how the switch is wired. I had to make do with what I had. They didn't give me much wiring coming out of the wall there. So this black line here comes in from the fuse panel and goes to here, okay? And then the same black line continues on in parallel and goes over to the GFI switch. This is the way you want to do it when you have a light switch next to the GFI, because if the GFI trips, you don't ever want the light to go off for the vanity light. So that way, if this guy ever trips, he's still getting his power. That's why you do it this way. This wire here, which is the other end of the switch, goes up to the vanity light, this black wire. Okay, and the white wire here going to the outlet is just the white wire going back to the electrical panel. So these two are all wired up. We're going to connect them onto the outlet box and fire them up. Okay, so now what I want to do, it's always my preference to do this. I always take electrical tape and I wrap around the outlets to cover up all of the leads. That way, if anybody's ever working in the box later, they won't get shocked. Okay, so I back off these screws a little bit so I can get around, and I just put the tape on there like that. And I'll just run it up about 2 times around. Okay, so when I'm done, that's what it looks like, see? So now there's no way anybody can get shocked. And now I'm going to do the same thing here on the GFI outlet as well. Okay, so here we are. We have both of the switch and the outlet are now plugged in there. And I just wanted to point out to you, see if I can get it in focus here. You can barely see it says the word top right there, just to the upper left of this screw. See how it says top right there? So that's how you know there is an orientation to the switch. So to make sure you get it right, you got to put it in there with that word top pointing upward. And that's really the only thing you got to worry about there. So let's go turn on the fuse panel then. Alright, so putting it back on. Now for the moment of truth. So there's the light works now. And now remember, I'm going to use my outlet tester here, and everybody should have an outlet tester like this. They're only like $10 at the big box stores. And make sure you get one that's got this button on there. This test button will test the GFI circuit there. Okay, so we're going to take this and stick it in there. And remember, right out of the factory, you're not going to have anything working. It's going to the lights aren't going to work. You're going to be thinking, what did I do wrong? Well, you didn't do anything wrong. You have to reset these. These come already turned off at the factory, so you have to push the reset button back in to get it tested again, so that it's going to be working here for you. So now, once you hear that click, and then you should see the green light come on there, and then you go ahead and plug in your tester, and both of these orange lights are supposed to come on. So we know we did a perfect job there. Okay, and then you come here, and that one works. Now if I want to test it, I'll hit the button there. Did you hear it snap? Poof. So that means it tripped the circuit here, the ground fault circuit interrupter, and that cuts off the power there. And then you put it back in, and it's back on again now. And so you can also self-test it, which you should do regularly, about once a month, by pushing it in like that. That has the same effect as pushing this button here. Okay, so but it's 2 different paths. The reason why I prefer to do it on this is this actually simulates whatever is going to happen. It'll simulate the fault by a real life appliance that's plugged in, or you doing something outside of it. So that's why I like to do it that way. And the only thing we have to do now is put on the faceplate. The plate that I'm going to use, I always prefer to use metal. I don't buy any plastic ever. Even the ones that say unbreakable, they all lie, they all break, and they all crack. I always use metal, especially in bathroom walls. This one's actually pretty flat, but a lot of them tend to dome right around this area. And so when you put something flat against it, it's not going to be right. But at least this metal, if I had to bend it, I could bend it. But this guy's actually really good at it. I might bend it a little bit down here, see that? There it is in the dark with the little green power indicator on there. So I like having those LEDs on there. Not all of these have them. This is a great feature to have on there because you can tell at a glance whether or not you've got power. So there you have it, and I hope you found this video useful to you, and if you did, we'd appreciate it if you give a thumbs up down below there, and remember you can also hit the subscribe button and the bell icon right next to it to be alerted whenever we come up with a new video. And also, if you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below in the comments there, and we can answer all of your questions for you as well. And at the end screens, you will see that we also have links to other videos that are related to this as well, for other topics that you might be working on around your house. So that's it for this week, folks, and we will see you next week.